Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Wednesday night to join me. I really do appreciate it. Tonight we're talking about Connors and the other show that involves a young woman who was mistakenly made older than she really was, and this wasn't, proven without a question of doubt, not until sometime later. Link in the description below. The young lady's name is Natalia, and it's a pretty wild story. The name of the series that's on Hulu that discusses this topic is uh, A Good American Family or something. Link in the description below. I'm just improvising some commentary because it's something to talk about, and also because it's something that I've really been into, both the Connors and the story of Natalia. However, I got way less interested in the story of Natalia when I went ahead and decided to give myself a spoiler alert, and I googled the outcome of the judicial case that had been brought forth. It really just made me feel kind of weird for even thinking for a moment that the woman that Ellen Pompeo represents, her character in that adaptation of what allegedly happened and the events that took place around this particular time. Crazy stuff, I'm over here trying to do nothing with my whole life, and there's people out there just kind of like living the craziest, multi-character, multi-life, multiverse. I can't imagine all of the energy that it would require to do some of the honestly outlandish things that people do, all of which are included but not limited to adopting children and then convincing yourself that they are 15 years older than what you originally had agreed that they probably were. And again, like, what a resilient young lady, like, for real. I can't, can you imagine, like, if you have any idea of what I'm talking about, you would know. If you know, you know. It was just some grime. Like, I don't know how that woman or the man did not get in trouble for locking, a different person away from them in a different spot, and then like completely neglecting them, and then like gaslighting them, and then essentially abusing them, and then, I just, all so that it could ultimately be proven that they were dead wrong, and that, like, again, all of the things that they had assumed to be true were just so misleading and false. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes me frustrated because I feel like both of the parents, given their circumstances, seeing as though they're both well to do financially, and rocking that one skin color that happens to get you a little bit more of stuff sometimes in a world that could be argued is just made a little bit more for those people with a certain kind of skin tone. I'm just saying, right, that like I just don't think that a poor black, brown, or even white person would have a documentary made about them and featured on streaming services where ultimately they are not convicted of a crime because they, again, in this case, normal people don't have money, right? They don't have the luxury of being able to accidentally adopt a girl who they think is one age and then feel a certain type of way based on some alleged behaviors that then leads them to believe that instead of her being, 8, she's really 22. She could be 30, she's 40, who knows? I really can't for a second begin to imagine how that would even occur. Like, where do rich white people go to get seen for services that need, like doctors and stuff? Like, I feel that, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you be so well off with such a vetted history of adopting children and being a part of fostering children, and then you write books? This is your livelihood. Like, this is what you do. And then you end up with, like, a kid who, again, just for whatever kind of reason, Lord only knows. There's only three people that will ever truly know what happened in that situation: the mother, the father, and poor Natalia. Again, and I say poor Natalia because, like, what the heck? Yo, like, this girl was, like, literally 8, 9, 10 years old, and she was living by herself. Like, she had her own apartment, and for some reason, everyone was so quick to believe that this clearly young looking person was 15 years older and therefore responsible for all the things that they did, not exactly knowing, but probably knowing just based on behaviors and such that, like, I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, you'd think it'd be kind of something maybe not easy to tell, but so far as maturity is, and, like, convincing yourself that this person is 15 years, I think she was wrong. I think that woman was wrong. I think the father was wrong. I think that all of what they did was, premeditated. Like, that was a crime. I'm just saying it was a crime, okay? Because, like, I just can't think of an instance where anybody that doesn't have money would be able to get away with being in a world where they go visit somebody, a little kid, and they're able to walk out the front door without neighbors being like, yo, like, I'm pretty sure you're leaving a little kid here. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's one of the good things about being poor is that when things happen, people talk. We're like, hey, like, that person keep going in and out of your apartment for? I'm pretty sure that is not a grown adult. I'm just so, like, I don't know. The first episodes were good, and then obviously this isn't just the first series that has been made about this really controversial thing that had just recently happened involving this poor little girl named Nadia, not Natalia. Again, like, super sketch. And in the adaptation, the new one with Alan Pompeo, they try to make you feel some type of way, like, as a viewer, in the beginning, where they kind of get like scammed out of $7,000 or $8,000 or whatever, and I feel like they let that type of feeling roll over into some judgment that was, again, wrong. And it's just scary because you don't really know if it was just kind of like an innocent mistake and they maybe really didn't know, Maybe they were too dumb, regardless of all said circumstances, being that they had already fostered kids, they had already adopted children, they wrote a book. She wrote a book about, working and developing children that needed special help and more attention because of things that, happened to them and were not their fault and stuff. And I don't know, man. What am I doing wrong? I can't find a job that pays more than $14 an hour. And there's people out there, again, like, living some straight up video game bunko status style lives, you feel me? Like, all while in the public eye, all while having, like, advanced degrees and, dozens of colleagues around them and being responsible for people's livelihoods. And that sounds really irresponsible. Like, I don't know. Is it more irresponsible to just, set the bar real low, not want to do anything, and not participate in a system that is clearly a little lopsided with some leniency in a world where, again, things just might not be as they seem? It may have seemed from all indications on the outside that these people were living a relatively normal life. Again, publishing books, opening recreation centers, giving tours, giving speeches, advising other parents as to the welfare and being and caring of their children. I don't know. Again, This is probably why I have no goals in life and I want to accomplish nothing. Because again, like, that just, oh my god, like, that seems like a lot of work, right? It seems like a lot of drama, and at the end of the day, the Xer parents or boomer parents or however old they really are in real life were wrong. And, they're chilling in Canada. Like, I mean, that's gotta be the clearest indication of, like, a guilt, like an admission to guilt in some kind of small way, right? It's like you do all of these things, and then the next thing you know, you're in another country. I mean, like, that's kind of it's pretty clear, but then, like, it's also totally plausible that after committing crimes, you might just want to, like, leisurely feel like taking a stroll on over to a different country. I guess you can really never tell, right? Because, like, you can't read people's minds and stuff, but, like, super sketch, super sus. Hulu, shame on you. I don't know why you're, like, featuring stories of shady, rich, white couples that abuse children and don't get in trouble for it, and then have movies made about it featuring them that I'm sure have been compensated for such and said refer. It just doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but whatever. Hopefully, and I say hopefully not, right? But, like, in real talk, like, that young girl Natalia is actually doing really good. She was put back into school. The parents that had given her up for, whatever reasons prior to the people that had adopted her second and turned her life into a literal Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and all service streaming platforms documentary. All of that, all of what I just said, it happened, all right? Link in the description below. Google Natalia real age, and, you'll be enlightened with all this information, and I think at the end of all that information, you'll find that those parents were absolutely crazy and, ended up just fleeing America so that they could enjoy a peaceful life in Canada. America wasn't doing it for them, I mean, it was up until the point that they ran into some issues, and then they were just like, all right, I'm out, Natalia's 23. She's really only 8, but I'm out. Like, I'm out. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's break character here. Listen, thanks for watching my show. I really appreciate it. I really do. I feel like we're all getting somewhere here, right? We really are. I mean, we're making some progress. I feel like one day, I might be out of this huge hole that I've dug myself in. That's kind of like the whole point of my life, is just slowly trying to climb out this hole, I'm hoping that I'll see some sunlight before sand continues to fall in. This is how life works. But regardless, I really appreciate y'all joining me and being a part of my life and listening to me talk about these things. Definitely check out what I'm speaking about tonight. Like, this, it was a crazy story, and I kind of love to hate Ellen Pompeo. I think that, like, she's not a good actress, but she's an extremely uber confident and narcissistic kind of a person. And, I'm not going to lie, I kind of like that. But it doesn't always translate over to talent. And I just, I mean, I don't know how I feel about Ellen Pompeo. Like, I feel like I liked her 20 years ago when she first started Grey's Anatomy, and I feel like I kind of am just anti anyone who wants to look 30 when they're 60. It looks weird, Like, you might look good. You may look good, admittedly. You got no wrinkles, your boy here's not even 38, and it looks like, I've been spending half my life under the sun, smashed in between a baseball mitt and a fence, I'm not, like, saying we're not going there. I'm just saying that she's not that attractive, and I just don't think she's that good of an actress. And I'm sorry if that's an unpopular opinion. However, we really only have Grey's Anatomy and now Good American Family to sort of draw from. So, I mean, what? Not many career actors, I mean, this is sort of like a real life IRL, adaptation of Joey Fatone's character in the fictional universe of Friends. So I'm just saying that, like, I don't know what exactly I'm saying other than that it was a cringe show. And I don't think I like Ellen Pompeo as an actress. I think that I like her maybe as a person because all of those things that I had described about her. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's a good actress. And, anyways, I just. God, I'm ugly. I had to break the ice there. I don't have my contacts in, so I can't see anything, honestly. I'm nearsighted, so obviously I can see. I just can't see with any clarity, alright? At all. It's just sort of like being drunk, Except I don't drink, and it's weird to be sober, vision drunk. Because you understand that you're not drunk, but you can't see. And so, anyways, I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show. My name is Albert, and this was Vlogs About Nothing. If you're not already a subscriber, smash the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't matter. Just engage. I really appreciate you and your time. I hope that you have a really good night, alright? Bye.